and I'm your host, Sergeant Gonzalo Duran. Welcome back, and I'd like to start off by thanking our executive producers, JM Empire Media and Vero G Productions. Today's episode is sponsored by our friends, Has Hearts, a Michigan-based organization dedicated to bringing veterans and artists together to make art. Now, today's honored guest is Mr. Reginald Mitchell from Brothers in Recovery. Thank you, sir, for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, could you tell us a little bit more about the organization?
Okay, the organization started way back when in the 80s, right? Started by a couple of gentlemen who needed a place to share their experiences. Mainly, a lot of these gentlemen were part of, substance misuse, substance abuse, trauma, and all types of things, incarceration. So they were getting their lives together, and they just needed a place, where everyone could come together. Other men like them could come together, and talk about their feelings, don't be judged, and just get support. So they started this organization, and it grew. It grew like every week, every 2 weeks, somebody was bringing somebody in to the organization, and that was almost 35 years ago. And we've grown into a 501c3, and we do spiritual retreats. We do men's spiritual retreats, by the way. Every year we do a men's spiritual retreat up at a Christian retreat center upstate New York. And, we added some things, voter registration, we have our own space, thank God we have our own space now, which is located in Harlem, we do computer classes. Our space is open to the public. Young people or older people want to come in here, use the computers, print some stuff out, talk to somebody. There's always somebody there. So we've grown really, really beyond our wildest dreams, because we never knew that 3 or 4 of us at one time would grow into this.
So did you start off when it was?
I started off, I came a little later. I've been involved 20-something years now, out of the 35. Mm-hmm. So I came along with my expertise of being able to go out into the public, because a lot of these guys, they wanted to do stuff, but they didn't want to go into the public. They didn't want to go out there and talk to people, shake hands, or whatever. Or if there was a politician that needed us to help get their ballot on or whatever, they would ask. They didn't want to do a lot of that stuff. I guess it was set in their ways, and that was okay. But when I came along, I kind of changed the course of all of that, because I was that guy that could go into the public and meet people and stuff, and that's how I became the community liaison. And they put me on the board of directors, and they value a lot of the stuff that I say and do. And we just kept growing. We wound up getting chapters in different cities, different boroughs, and when we do our men's spiritual retreat every year, it's like 300 men, 300 to 200 men, of all walks in life. And it's a full weekend. It's a full weekend complete with workshops, all your meals, T-shirt, a gift, and the camaraderie. No drugs, no alcohol.
No drugs?
No drugs, no alcohol. We are a substance-free organization of men. If you have an issue with substance misuse, don't get me wrong, we're not going to turn you away. We'll just help you to find out how you can lessen it. There might be a time where you might do 3 bags of dope. We might get you down to 1 bag. So support. Support. So we help you with that by our support groups. We have them on Zoom as well as in person.
And I appreciate you mentioning that, because a lot of people, individuals, don't understand, it's never going to be cold turkey. It's not that's not an everyday thing. Right. In my work that I've done for advocacy, I've always tried to break the stigmatism of seeking help, of knowing that you need help, the perception of somebody having, let's say, a mental problem going on. Could be depression, could be a different situation going on, but there's still, life goes on.
Yes.
You have to find a job. You still have to interact with people. You have to get it out there. And one important thing is you got to need help recovering.
Absolutely.
And organizations like yourself, and the one that you represent, it's dear to my heart. So I thank you, not only for the work that you're doing, but for being here today to sharing these stories.
Because it takes one to teach one. I ain't even going to say the majority of our men. All of our men have come from substance misuse backgrounds and trauma and incarceration. I mean, we went through it all so that we can best know now how to reverse it and give it back. Because now, some of us have been clean for over 30 years. Me, myself, 37 years I've been clean. You know, so it works, but you need support. You need to know that people believe in you, that you have somewhere to go, that you have somebody to talk to, you know, that you can relate to you, because it's rough out there, you know. And these are men that, believe it or not, I get phone calls from their wives, from different wives, sisters, aunts saying, I heard about your program. I want to see if my son, my husband, my uncle, whatever, my father, can be involved. And be like, sure, let's take it step by step, baby steps. Let's let them talk to me first, and let's see how that works out. Because, you know, men sometimes don't want to hang out with men, especially if they've been incarcerated. The last thing I want to do is be in a group setting with men and have to talk about their feelings.
Of course.
What do you got to lose, right?
You know, and I'm always amazed, not only with New York City, but the way that these programs work. I mean, I've been doing this talk show for 9 years.
Okay.
I've been an advocate for just over 10 years. I've never heard of Brothers in Recovery, but all the work that you're doing, and within, like, say, a week time span, I've been hitting different angles on. I know that you have I didn't know you had the retreat part. I am aware of the program regarding the Nassau Coliseum and the BronxNet.
Yes, absolutely. That is a veterans program. It's going to be it's a youth program for ages 17 to, you can say 80. You know, it's a one-day event, so it's really calling out all young youth and older men and anybody that just wants to have a great day and break that stigma of fathers are not good fathers. All that stuff comes along with it. Of all the fathers are on drugs, all the kids are bad, out there running the streets. So even if they are, we give them a place that day. You know, it's a full program, and it's a free program. And it's taken a lot of work to put together because you're bringing people from all walks of life. And you know, it's organized mainly by a young sister named Nigel Howard. She has a young men's magazine. It's called Young Men Strong. And, you know, it was birthed by her magazine, and she needed expertise and folks that really knew how to put something like this together. And I get a phone call. Because I get outsourced to other organizations because of my expertise.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, I get outsourced by other organizations. And I don't mind because I'm retired. You know, I'm not doing this for the money. You know, there might be some kind of financial gain, but the gain is spiritual in nature. It's the gain of seeing people's faces, you know, seeing the looks on their faces when they come to one of these programs. You know, when they go back home from a spiritual retreat for the weekend, they're alive. They're amazed at how, you know, a difference can make. Might want to get them to continue that path.
So, I mean, from my understanding, you've been doing this for over 20 years.
Yes, I have been.
So, I mean, you know, I always think about the old saying that they say, if you find something you do, you never work in a day in your life. I can see that from you, getting that. But you had mentioned a few different demographics right now. So I want to break down something. Brothers in Recovery.
Right.
Who exactly is your demographics that you're trying to help?
We are trying to help men ages 17 to 80, point blank.
Perfect. So now we have that right there.
Yes.
You had mentioned that the Nassau Coliseum program was more geared towards trying to get veterans.
Get veterans, absolutely, because we're doing a veterans program as well.
And I can see that you're
a proud vet.
A veteran yourself,
Don't
Army
mess
veteran.
Around. Don't mess around. Don't mess around. 20 years, absolutely.
Now, for the viewers out there, you know, just in case, you know, we already know men. You have a division for your veterans, and your goal is to help not only get the recovery process situated, but also be a source for community involvement, et cetera.
Absolutely.
How would they go about reaching out to not only you, but the organization as well?
The organization can be reached out. It's BIRUSA.org. That's the website for the organization. My information is public. Facebook, Reggie Mitchell. You know, Brothers in Recovery has a Facebook page as well. You can reach me at my email, which is rmitchell, all lowercase, 125@gmail.com, or you can just call me up on my phone, 646-633-7539. And I can be reached. I'm retired, so I'm usually available. And you know, when someone calls me, I answer. We talk for a little while, and I also do a mentoring program as well. And you know, we get young people. See, it's one thing, right, Duran, to sit back and talk about some stuff at home on your couch. But it's another thing to actually be in the middle of it and actually doing all you can to help save a life. So rewarding. I mean, because someone saved my life, Duran, you only seeing the finished product. You didn't see me 37, 38 years ago. Remember, I told you I've been clean off of drugs and alcohol for 37 years. So you see the finished product. You didn't see me when you didn't want to see me. So I get such joy when I can help someone transform, because someone helped me.
You know, one of the things that I'm grateful and I enjoy doing is I've had civilians and veterans speak to me candidly regarding their situations. You know, I've spoken to individuals with, let's say, ADHD problems who were teachers, or someone going through depression but also running a nonprofit, etc. And you know, the core question, or excuse me, the core answer they give me when I ask them is, why are they feeling comfortable sharing their story with me? And most of the consensus is that they want to show others that there is people going out there with their same problems, but they've overcome it, you know, or they're not letting that situation stop them from going past, you know, what would be the repercussion would be, you know, unfortunate for individuals that, you know, might take their lives because they may not see an outlet, or the love that the community has for them, or the possibility of support from other organizations. You know, they might get one experience bad in one place. So let's say, and I'm not trying to be negative here or anything, but let's say somebody goes, you know, some veterans don't particularly like going to the VA because of the government institutional. You know, they might feel uncomfortable. So once again, now they have another outlet with a nonprofit that makes them feel more comfortable. So once again, thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for being so candid. And you know, now that I know the Brothers in Recovery is something, you know, I look forward. I'm happy to share your information.
Absolutely.
I look forward to helping in the future any way that I can. You know, I would like to ask you, you know, is there maybe a story that you are able to share with us that in your work in over 20 years that you're proud to say this is something that I did with somebody, or maybe a special project that you might have touched on?
My 3 sons.
Okay.
My 3 sons, I raised them in the South Bronx in the projects. In the South Bronx in the 80s. And we know what it was like back then in the 80s. And they're grown men now, and they're still alive.
That's beautiful right there.
You know, that's a beautiful thing? You know, my oldest son is 41. My youngest is 37. And my middle son is 39. And they're still alive and doing great. They got families. I got grandchildren. That's my greatest accomplishment. Because we were dying at an alarming rate, just like we are now, against one another, killing one another, young people killing young people, you know. If you can contain 3 boys for that long, you know, believe me. And they never saw me use drugs and alcohol. Because basically by the time they were born, I was clean already. So they never had to experience what so many others have experienced. And I don't mean to say that to say anything negative, but, you know, sometimes we have these horror stories of my parents used in front of me, you know, my parents sold me for drugs, but they haven't had to experience that now. That's my greatest accomplishment, raising my 3 sons. And I'm raising your sons too. I'll raise your sons as well.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So now, you know, with the rich history that you guys have and the programs that you've mentioned, if there's any other programs that you haven't mentioned that you'd like to share with us?
Well, we do have a radio show. And all of our team on the radio show are veterans.
Interesting.
And they're people in recovery.
Interesting.
This show this radio show was given to us while we had this organization. Somebody saw the need for a slot of a talk show 10 years ago. We've been doing radio, and they say, hey, guys, I got a slot. And there was like 100 of us, and we was like, well, who's going to be committed to doing radio? That's a commitment every Friday, 5 to 6. It's a commitment. Mm-hmm. So a couple of us raised our hand and said, we'll try it. So we came up with a name. Name of our show is called Another Perspective. But it's a talk show. And we talk about different issues, community issues, mental health, substance misuse, food, diet, health, and it was birthed out of Brothers in Recovery. And our producers, our co-hosts, they're all veterans, and they're all Brothers in Recovery.
Now, if somebody wants to reach out to the radio show,
yes,
how would they go about doing that?
WHCR 90.3 FM. You just Google www.WHCR 90.3 FM. You go to talk shows, and if you want our show, because the show has various shows. It has like 40 different shows, from music to finance to gospel to jazz to sports to news. We're a talk show. So you can Google our talk show, and you'll see my pretty face along with my co-hosts. Or you can just call me up, 646-633-7539. That's my direct number. You can easily reach me or email me, rmitchell, all lowercase, like Reggie Mitchell, 125@gmail.com.
Now, when it comes to the radio show, has there been any episodes that really touched you or maybe had some high impressions for you?
We had a show on recently where these young producers, young directors did a movie called When, right? And it was a movie based on, violence and, misuse of weapons and guns. And there was a 9-year-old who was playing in the movie as well. His friend had gotten killed by a drive-by. And, he played the role so well. Like, someone had called me up and said, Reggie, I got some people here that did a movie. We're going to send you the movie, and we'd like you to get them on the show if you can to talk about this movie. So we got them on the show, and the young man, he was sitting next to me in the studio, and we talked, and then we decided to honor him at our annual Kwanzaa event, this young man. We do an annual Kwanzaa event also that's free to the community every year. We just did one in December. So we honored this young man for his work in the movie When, and now we're lifelong friends, and he's growing and stuff like that. So those kind of things really touch me, when you can be that young doing something that positive, and making a difference.
Now, in those different aspects, you're touching on both. Once again, the Brothers in Recovery helped bring up the radio station.
Absolutely.
So you can see that there's an expansion of different things, and the organization also has chapters in different areas.
Yes.
Where, and you've had your hand into this to shape it. Is there something that maybe you can see in the foreseeable future you're trying to get to? Is there something that's been maybe out of reach or something like that?
Yes, we're trying to get younger members.
Okay.
We're really because we're a dying breed. I'm 64 years old. Okay, so we're looking for young leadership. We're looking to expand our space. Our space we've outgrown it, but thank God we still have it. We're looking for that, and we're actually looking to be out there on the ballot in some politics. We have a voice. We're a huge organization. We have a voice. So we're looking to do that, because we have to expand. We're not just a little organization just hanging out on the corner. We're 300 strong, and we have different chapters, and so we're looking to expand to do whatever is necessary and keep the radio show going, and continuing to have the doors open so that someone may want to involve their son or their father or their uncle, who might be going astray, that might need a little guidance. We're looking to not reinvent the wheel, in other words.
I gotcha.
It's working. It is working. Like I told you, we do a big annual Thanksgiving feeding. We're always looking for volunteers for our big events like that. We do a school backpack giveaway every summer, and we do Christmas toy drives and our spiritual retreats. So we're always looking for new blood, so to speak.
You know, and you hit on something that's really, really important to me when you said, you know, it's proven, it's working, you know it. And for the viewers that may not understand, because we didn't go into specific details, but from what I remember regarding the Nassau Coliseum program, you had the ability to take individuals from Harlem and the Bronx and transport them all the way to Nassau County to the Coliseum, which is a huge endeavor in itself, and provide them not only but the services, the opportunities that are, you know, I'm sure there's tons of things going on, vendors,
workshops,
and such like that,
vendors,
workshops, everything,
award ceremony,
and then have the Long Island Nets participate in a game for the community.
Absolutely.
You know, and all this on a one-day, you know, I call it a retreat. To me, it's like a retreat.
It's a field trip.
It's a field trip, like it's an adult field trip.
And we feed you.
And you come on.
Oh yes, absolutely.
What more can you ask for?
And you get to network, and you get to meet different people, and there are a lot of other organizations that is going to be involved with this now. You know, we're trying to bring organizations together because collaboration is key. You know, we're stronger together. You know, we cannot afford to be looking at other organizations and, you know, we always like to think we're taking something. No, but we're building. We're building. You know, grassroots organizations are the future and always have been and always will be. You know, 501c3s, grassroots organization, we have the power. You know, we have the power. You know, you get your little grants and stuff like that. You do the paperwork, you keep your taxes and all that stuff that goes along with 501c3s. We know what happens with that. But more than that, you know, we have the support, you know, the up close and personal. I go all over the world preaching what I do. You know, I get calls on. I'm going to be honored, by the way. I'm going to be honored February 10th out in Elizabeth, New Jersey by an organization called the Peace Federation. And they're an interfaith organization. They're going to be having breakfast and lunch, and different religions are going to speak. And, you know, it's a bringing together. And they decided to honor yours truly for the Community Service Award.
Now, regarding the aspect of I would say with the religion part, you had mentioned that the retreat that you do once a year, it's spiritual retreat. So I assume there's a religious component to it, or
non-denominational.
Non-denominational.
There's a religious component to it, but you don't have to be of that faith.
Okay.
You can practice your own faith. You know, I mean, you know, there are different faiths. You know, we have workshops on that, and we have speakers on that. You know, because we want to be able to make people feel comfortable. You know, we don't want to be like, if you ain't this faith, then you can't come. No, it's non-denominational. We just ask that you don't bring any drugs and alcohol.
Of course, and
that's really key right there.
And during your recovery process, that's what you want to stay away from.
Right. I mean, folks are going to smoke their cigarettes because it's a big retreat. It's at a retreat property up in Sparrow Bush, New York, and you know, you're going to smoke your cigarettes. You're going to be out there walking around, you know, in the fields and stuff like that. But it's a camaraderie. It's an awesome thing. We got to get you up there. We definitely got to get you up there. All right?
My next question after we finish is, when's these days coming up so I can sign up?
We got to get you up there, absolutely.
And if people want to sign up for programs like that, get in contact with you and your organization, how would they do that again?
Reginald Mitchell, right? You can reach me at www.birusa.org. That's Brothers in Recovery website. Or you can call me on my direct line, 646-633-7539. Or you can email me, rmitchell, all lowercase, 125@gmail.com. Or Facebook. Reggie Mitchell is on Facebook. So is Brothers in Recovery. Facebook page for Brothers in Recovery, and Reggie Mitchell has his own Facebook page. Or you can call Duran and say, hey, well, who's that young man you had on the other day? I didn't get that.
Now, I'm assuming the Brothers in Recovery's website also has a section for the donation?
Donations. It has a section for donation. It has a lot of nice pictures. It has contact information. It even has a dues page. You know, because we organizations, we pay dues. How are we going to survive? You know, we survive with the donations and the sponsorships and all that. But as an organization within ourselves, we pay dues as well.
You touched in something that I'd like to circle back at. You had mentioned that the voter registration.
Right.
Now, obviously, as nonprofits, we have to keep politics and the nonprofit work separate. But
Yes.
Realistically speaking, there's also that component that makes everything go together. This year's an election year. Devil Dog USA, Vet Talk. We have politicians here and everything, and our goal is always to try to get that movement going. Do you what part do you guys play in that real quick?
We play the part of voter registration.
Okay.
We get these politicians that know us, that come to our events as well, because they know us, they know our organization, they come to our events, they make their speeches, they eat some food, they shake some hands, they tell some lies, they kiss some babies, the whole gambit, and they say, listen, would your organization be willing to help with voter registration? Or would your organization be willing to get out the vote? So we go back to our board of directors meeting and we say, listen, do we believe in this person? Do we believe in their platform? Or what are we going to do? And we come to a consensus and we get back to them. Usually it's me, because I'm the community liaison. And we've had senators and councilmen on our radio show. We've had them at our events. They come on a regular to our events because it's always a lot of people there and a lot of cameras, and they come. So, one hand wash the other. Both hands wash the face. We want something from them, too.
Of course.
We want turkeys during Thanksgiving time when we got to feed communities. We want free turkeys.
There we go.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, you guys know how to reach Brothers in Recovery now. Yes. Check out their website, make a donation. If you're trying to get in touch with them, you already have the information as well. They not only service, their main demographics is men. Everything else, there's little separations to that, but men. Now, with that being said, if you are a different organization dedicated to helping veterans or the community, we'd love to have you on our show. Feel free to reach out to us at ceo@devildogusainc.org. And until next time, as always, God bless America.
Peace.